Hello, everyone. Bill Molyneux here. December 2nd. We're going to have a Bill Basement chit chat time. Got to talk about Frank Prez. Frank Prez has Cold Wars coming up. First weekend of March, leap year, February 28th through March 1st in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Cold Wars is back, and I will be running the Weiss Fork game, 1865, the Battle of Weiss Fork, and one player will win my box game of Weiss Fork. And that game also, every sale is $5 goes to Save the Battlefield. Now, we received some cool things, wacky racers, Penelope, the Pussycat Penelope pit stop car from Frank, and the wacky racers creepy coupe. Now, that also came in a box. I have to find it. Frank sent me some gliders. Now, so we have some German 144 scale gliders, but I'll be using these for 54 to plot where our gliders land. So Frank, he sent me two of them. These will work great because even though they're small, I can still use these. And if I had a 54 millimeter glider, it'd be a 3-foot wingspan probably. All right, now we're going to pick up the Wargame table, but we got to talk about two other great conventions. January 25th at Fort Belvoir in Virginia. The Army Museum there is having Wargame Day. Mark Fassiso and his guys will be there running games. Goober and I will be there doing Battle of the Bulge with the Chuckleheads, Walt and Kevin. And hopefully Kevin's coming, and Mike, and I don't know, we'll get Derek to show up, and we're going to see if Ron Prelliman can come over because it's not far from his home. Now, that's another great game day, and that's only one day. It's you got to register, but it's free, and you can get a boxed lunch. Now, the next War Game convention, which is my favorite, it is the best one, better than Historicon for me. And that's just because it's in Williamsburg, Virginia, the Williamsburg Muster Valentine's weekend. And that's at the Clarion Hotel in Williamsburg. My new home, well, I've actually owned the house in Virginia almost a year now, but it's 45 minutes to an hour away, and I'll probably be zipping back and forth. That convention that Cotton Jim Russell and them all do, James Curtis, they run some great games. They have bull action. They have historical. They have some Flames of War tournament on Sunday. And what's neat is the vendors are all around the convention. The players are in the center. It's like a circular section of vendors galore. And then Sunday there is a great flea market. And that's really neat too. So that's what's going on. Also, the Hawks will have barrage going on, I believe, the same weekend. Cold barrage. So there are a lot of stuff coming up for War Game conventions once we get through the holidays. Now, I did a book review on Major Gilmore. And we know that we will work on a Major Gilmore miniature game again. I've done one in the past. But right now, we need to talk about my donations, my Goober donations. You know, I really need to stress this, that, I get these nice cards from different historical societies and groups. This is from Gloucester, Virginia, from Robert Kelly. And I need to say that, these donations I'm doing between YouTube, my board game sales, the calendar sales, even the calendar sales. In January, I'm going to review how I'm doing it a little bit because I'm losing track of who I'm helping, Well, one thing I'm going to keep going is we're going to keep helping the small museums, the little itty bitty ones. So, the video you're watching right now, the money is helping Civil War Trails. If you're not familiar with Civil War Trails, if you're in England, Ireland, I guess someone from Ireland today wrote to me. Thank you very much for watching my channel. So, Civil War Trail signs are signs along the highway, and they help show you where our something specific happened during the Civil War. And what's neat is really neat about them is how they're placed along the road. Unfortunately, sometimes they're placed along the road where it's not necessarily safe to pull over at. So one of the things I've been finding is I have been hitting these signs and getting a lot of nice feedback from all of you that, people will say, I couldn't stop there because the traffic was too rough. So that's what we're helping with Civil War Trails. Now, we're pretty busy in the Wargame room. Trying to get set up for our big European game. So the idea will be, I'm going to leave the canal up, but I am removing our fortresses, which served gallantly. I think they came out pretty good for what they were used for. We did, 2 scenarios with them, and they cost me nothing to make. And, I'm really a huge fan of Donald Featherstone, as you know, and when you look at his stuff, he is, and I'm just going to grab Battles for Model Soldiers. Here we go. And getting a little sidetracked. We're supposed to be getting the Wargame table ready, but I mean, really, when you look at his games, they're really neat and all. And you notice he has a backdrop, but his stuff, he doesn't go through the make sure they're museum dioramas. Now this book has this great Civil War scenario and rules where it's just a stone wall and a cavalry unit on each side, 1 cannon each side, and two 20-man regiments. The most basic Civil War rules, but so many games are based off of these books. So just an amazing author, I think. And of course, all of those authors, Peter Grant and all, they were all, phenomenal. Now in our game, we're probably going to put this in. And of course, we have a couple of these light tanks we got from Ron Perlman, the Pretzel Snyder King. By the way, I still owe him $60 for these tanks I bought from him. I need to meet up with him at some point. Now, what's cool, dropping my dice, is we'll finish cleaning up the table here. And still need to paint our Confederate artilleryman. This is a Marx figure. Pretty rare. So, I hope everyone in America had a good Thanksgiving. I'm going to pause the camera here. I'm going to clean up a little bit of this table and then get back to you as we set up our battlefield. France, 1940. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's France, 1940, or Belgium. Whatever it is, it's early war in Bill's basement, and we have a lot going on. All right. Our Belgium troops need some flocking around them here and here. They are dug in. Got to find the flocking tub. We have an anti-tank rifle in here with a squad. We have Germans coming across the bridge. We have two 10-man units crossing the canal. All right. Now we have our French tanks and our Belgium tank that Josh made for us. And we have Belgium and French troops holding out in this farmhouse. And we'll pause the camera here. There's our early war German armor coming across. I threw these rafts together. There's a couple 10-man units coming across. We have Belgium and French troops united. We have a squad or two in the barn with a machine gun. We have our Matilda tank trying to cover the area. And then we have over here our farmhouse. Now, we're going to drop our gliders and our paratroopers Donald Featherstone style. All right, Frank Prez, who kindly sent me these, and they arrived today. These are our markers for our gliders. And I guess I need to show you the German airborne troops. There they are. Are 3D printed by Josh Warliff. The files by Colonel Muller. You find Colonel Muller's files on the internet. Real easy to find them. And then we have our Airfix paratroopers that I painted. Of course, Jim Shaw's painting is much better. Dave Markley. I haven't had a chance to paint the gun gray and put a shield on it. Please excuse that for this game. But there's a point I get tired of working on stuff and I want to run a game. So our glider troops, just so you know, our gliders, this is our glider contingent. So we're going to land them first. All right. So grab my dice and off we go. So glider at 5 feet in. So we know we're at 5 feet, which is the... All right. There we go. And then we have to 5 feet by 1 foot in. My goodness, our glider crashes there against the wall. All right. So that's our first glider landing. And you know what? One of the gliders came with a damaged wing. So this will work perfect. Now in Bill's basement, if you have been watching my channel for any time, you know things aren't perfect. So our glider crashes into the wall, loses a wing. I'm going to roll a d6 for the occupants, but I'll do that afterwards. Let's land our second glider. All right. 9 feet we're in from there. So we'll put the die out. Wow. So it's out here in the water. And then it lands right here. All right. So our second glider, see if you can see that. Our second glider has landed way out there. Okay, everyone. So our glider comes in and lands here. Now these 144 scale gliders are working very good to give you an idea where things are. All right, now, how are we going to land these paratroopers? There they are. Well, here we go. Now, those of you who are older, such as myself, Donald Featherstone's airborne rules is you cut out a sheet of paper. This is my parachute. And there's our transport. Pretend that's a Junkers. And I want the first group of paratroopers to land. And they're supposed to be that high. And there's our paratroopers. So, that's our first batch. I'm going to place figures. I'm placing figures around. I decided to let the camera run. So Kim Metis, if you're watching, I know you like these videos be long. So here's our first glider group. Now, I'm cheating on this. Kevin, I have the heavy weapons have been landed in another area and they were right at the edge. So that's where the heavy weapons team is. All right, our next glider group right here. And I'm going to roll a D6 for each of these figures. And if I roll a 6 on any of them, I'm going to say they died in the crash against the wall. All right. Do you think that's fair, everybody? So each squad has a machine gun team. And I'm just setting them up for now. So the gliders have landed. We got one against the wall, one over here, and our unit there. Now all these parachutes have landed. So you know what that means. We're going to take, and we're just going to do this. And I pick up my parachute because we got to do this again. Now, pretty cool. Our squads. That German's going to be bumming. So, this is the Donald Featherstone style of landing paratroopers on the table. And I have no idea how many people know this, knew this, or read about it. But there we go. All right. So 3 feet up roughly. We have another landing or flight coming. And now Donald used a box. He used a box. I have them on this. And I'm going to try to drop paratroopers here around the vehicles the closest saw them. Now that drop was better than the last one. So, all right. That was better than the last time. And yeah, we dropped right on top of this wacky Belgium tank. The gun turret is in reverse to the tank itself. So, Frank Prez, have you ever landed troops? Jack Brendel in Arizona. I know you were away in Oklahoma and weren't around for a while, but did you ever do this with your paratroopers? I have 3 more to lay out. And there we go. And we got 3 left. We got 3 left to go. The last of the paratroopers. 2, 3. Then we flutter down. One there. One there. And I don't know about that one. We're going to just roll on a 6 he dies. And on a 5 or a 6 he's been stabbed. You got a 3. All right, we're going to say this German landed on that side of the wall and didn't get zapped by the Frenchman. Okay. I'm out of breath. But you know what? That's where we're at. Let me have you get a view of our field now. So we have our heavy weapons are here. Okay. And I'm going to move the camera around a bit. Okay. Since I'm using bolt action, I have no idea how to get these 10-man units figured out because I have paratroopers all over the place. And I have to find my box of Lycan. Those figures there are supposed to be entrenched. And so is this machine gun there. Okay. As we cruise along, here's our 1 glider detachment. Now, I'll have some German half-tracks coming across with 3 10-man units with the armor column. And I don't think the raft guys are going to do well, of course, but I put them in just for the heck of it. All right, let's go take a look at the other side of the table. All right, here we are. Looking cool. So we have our cracked up glider. And I don't know. It's I got German paratroopers all over the place. It's wackadoodle time with that. I think it's quite interesting. The German armored column will have a tank battle going on with these different vehicles. Early war stuff. I've very rarely wargamed early war, so this is really a treat. And Josh Warliff, the 3D printer king, he can make you 3D printed vehicles. I'm a lot of videos of Josh. All right, hold on. We're gonna pause the camera here. All right, to everyone out there who's a Donald Featherstone fan, Wargaming Airborne Operations, look at this. There's Donald with his box with the parachutes. There they are fluttering to the ground. There they are landed on the field. And there they are set up. Now, for some reason, his pattern was a heck of a lot better than mine. My stuff is strewn all over the place. I got Germans all over the place. I really find this fun. I'm going to stop the camera and get the Lycan and entrench our Belgian-French troops. Okay, everybody. Our French machine gun team is in place and entrenched. And then our group of Belgians that were in this field, there they are. They're now entrenched officially. So, the next thing I need to do is figure out command dice. I also need to roll for all those glider figures there, which I can do right now. 2, 4, 6, 1 dead, and 2 dead. So on the impact of that glider slamming into this wall, we lost 2 figures here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we lost 2 men. Glider crashes into the wall. And so that, I don't know if they would get a morale marker for that or not. So, okay. Wow. Pause the camera here. Okay, everybody. Well, we went through the Wargame conventions coming up. January 25th, our Army Heritage Museum in Fort Belvedere for the 25th. Please register. It's free. Mark Fossiso and his guys will be there. Hoping a lot of the Chuckleheads will be there. Don't forget we have Cold Wars and the Williamsburg Muster. Williamsburg Muster before Cold Wars. And, well, we have our early war games set up. We have a couple half tracks with 30 figures coming in behind these guys. A couple motorcycles. And we're just going to play this through. I'm not sure if I can use bolt action sequence system because I got stuff all over the place. Leave some messages. And starting in January, I have not picked the next charitable organization, but I'm going to ask you out there. Right now we're giving money to Civil War Trails for these videos. The Goober calendar supports the Maryland Veterans Museum. I'm wondering, have you seen my Weiss Fork Battlefield Tour videos? I got the Weiss Fork board game. I'm wondering if we should support them. They are working really hard at Weiss Fork Battlefield. They're setting up signage, putting in trails. It's a great battlefield, and no one really knows it exists. Second largest battle in North Carolina. Do you think, I think that could be my January, February YouTube money. Or do you know of a museum or historic site that could use a little help? The CSS Noose, that museum could use help too. Goober and I want to contribute to small little museums that need help more than the big ones. All right, game is set. We're ready to go. So in the next couple days, we will be playing, I don't know, France, Belgium, early war, Bill Molyneux crazy basement game. All right, thank you for watching. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and you got to see how Donald Featherstone would do an airborne drop on my channel. Thank you again.